guys, it's Jenny and I am back with another book review, and I'm filming outside again even though it was super stressful filming outside the last time. We're gonna try it again because this book is quite a heavy book and I felt like, hey, let's go outside in the sun and, you know, lighten the mood a bit. So yeah, that's why we're outside and we're gonna do this, do it right and not freak out when every time a person comes in. This time I'm going to review Wintergirls by Laurie Halse. It was first published in 2009 and it is 278 pages, but as I mentioned in my last book haul, if you've seen that, I thought this book was going to be quite hard to read, and it was. So I feel like even though it is only 278 pages, it may take a lot longer. It took me longer than a normal 278 book would take to read, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So I'm just going to start by reading the back of the book to you because it's really short and I feel it sums up the book really well. Cassie's body was found in a motel room. She called Leah 33 times before she died. Leah never picked up. Now the voice in Leah's head tells her to stay strong, keep control, lose more, weigh less, thin, thinner, thinnest. Maybe she can make herself disappear altogether. So this book is basically focused around Leah, who is the main character, and it's a first-person narrative, so we're seeing exactly what is in her head. Leah, who has anorexia, and her struggle with anorexia and her battle with dealing with her friend Cassie's death, who also had an eating disorder. Leah is 17 and has already been hospitalized numerous times for her eating disorder, and right now she is trying to cope with her friend Cassie's death and the guilt that she feels because she never picked up Cassie's calls. They had fallen out as friends, they were best friends and had their eating disorder together and coaxed each other on, but they fell out and hadn't spoken to each other for nearly a year. But just before Cassie died, she called Leah 33 times, and this fact haunts Leah. I don't want to say too much about the book other than to say that it is following Leah in the throes of anorexia and trying to cope with that and trying to cope with Cassie's death. There are lots of things that happen in the book, but I feel like you should discover them on your own without me ruining the book and telling you. This book was just so amazingly written, and I mean really got in the mind of someone with an eating disorder and how they feel, to the point where my skin was crawling when I was reading it. I mean, I've had first-hand knowledge of an eating disorder, and as well as having people with friends and trying to coax them through it. Honestly, I tweeted, if you follow me, I tweeted that maybe this book should come with a health warning, and I was messing, but at the same time I feel like this book could be a trigger book if you have had an eating disorder, and I really was uncomfortable reading it, like really bad, because I was uncomfortable because it was written so well and I really got into the mind of someone with an eating disorder. The way it was written was that like Leah would want a piece of food and she would be like, oh my god, I really want that burger, I really want that piece of cake, and then it'd be scratched out, there'd be a line through it in the book of that thought, and then you'd be like, no, I am strong, I do not need the food, that food will make me sick, it will make me fat, it's covered in mold, I don't need it now. And you're getting the two mindsets that she's in, that she really wants to have this food, she really wants to just be normal, she wants to have these friends, she wants to have all these feelings, but at the same time you're getting the other side of no, must be strong, no, and all the tricks and tips that she has to convince herself not to eat it and to stay strong. There's this constant battle of, even she knows that it will never be enough ever. She wants to get to 85 pounds, but she herself knows that 85 pounds will never be enough. She will want to get to 80 pounds and 75 pounds, and it's this constant battle and competition with herself just to get smaller and smaller until maybe, you know, she disappears. It's complicated and so unnervingly written. I really think if you want an insight into someone with an eating disorder, if you know someone and you want to kind of get a grip on their mentality and the way they see things and the way they're dealing with things, then I think you should read this. If you were in the throes of an eating disorder, I think it might make you worse. If you've had one and you're recovered, if you think you're okay to read it, then read it. But you know your own level, whether it's going to affect you or not. But I'm just saying, Laurie Halse got so into the mind of Leah and her disorder that, like I said, it could be a trigger book, so there's just that to keep a note. But honestly, the style of I couldn't get over how well she wrote it. Amazingly beautifully written, and although I was really uncomfortable reading it and it really kind of set off a few things in my head, I still have to applaud it. It was just so well done. And yeah, if if you feel you would like reading this book, or you want to, like I said, if you want to get inside the mind of someone who has an eating disorder, or all the reasons I listed earlier, then I really think you should, because this book is definitely getting a 5 out of 5 for me, because it, like I said, amazingly written, and the character of Leah was just so brilliant, so well developed, and so you felt her torture and her plight, and you wanted to help her, and at the same time she kind of dragged you down as well, which sounds bad, but I really just if you read it and you'll understand what I mean. Don't go into it if you're looking for a light read, it's not that, but to be fair, it's about an eating disorder, you weren't expecting it to be. It's a 5 out of 5 for Wintergirls by Laurie Halse. Definitely worth picking up. I hope you enjoyed this, I hope you're good, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.